Rides that was put up by Blur Press with Lucy Harvest Clark and Stephen Emerson. So first of all, I want to thank them for putting that out. And they're basically just train rides, forwards and backwards, all around the UK. On a train to Reading, sitting backwards, I wanted to impress the pirate girl with my kissing thought ability. Who is the pirate girl? The pirate girl is on the train with cut-off jeans and a homemade shirt. I wanted to hang upside down and give her a blowjob like the hanged man in a tarot deck. I am the pirate girl. I live in the Docklands. I'm the queen of the fucking sea. Inside a teepee filled with blood or a toupee filled with gold, America is dissolving in me. It is a time-release pill. Home is whenever I'm with you. My hump, my lovely lady lumps. If you paint a person with house paint, they will live if you don't paint the bottom of their feet. On a train from Reading, sitting forwards. I'm the wife of a train. What does it mean to be human tipped over? The hair from my upper lip is falling into my mouth. Food stains on library books, stickers on the bananas. Everyone in this carriage has a suitcase, whole milk, and a broomstick. We are all here in the dark. Just stay in your lines. I am rocking a ghost infant. I am the ghost infant. All these little colorful things. On a train to Turkey, sitting backwards. Not older, not younger. The man in the tunnel might be my brother. Beautiful and Hellenic, anyone, anywhere, love. Existence is futile, but also good. Living on milk duds and poetic justice. I'm tired of this poem, but want to give you everything. On a train from Torquay, sitting forwards. To compose on the road, a tiny shadow of pen and paper. You go this way, you go that way. My handsomeness inside out. I'm sitting forwards, I'm sitting backwards. Muchu setsu mu, a dream within a dream. Hairs in the nose grab debris. This is a sonata for spoiling eyes. I want to be adored now. On a train to Exeter, sitting backwards. Shoplifting at Whole Foods, there were sparks under my shoes. On the train with Pussy Riot and the raincoats. When it's morning, it's afternoon in my brightly colored balaclava. Daydream Nation and boardwalks in Hyde Park. Cameron and the Jackals, St. KGB. The big dream, my ass, 2 cats, 2 gerbils, and a pound. Which ones are decent? Which will knock you up for next to nothing? Inside my head, my dog's a bear, a meat-eating liberal, a homeless hamster, and many other problems. My name is Hush Puppy, and I live with my daddy in the bathtub. Has anyone seen that film? No? Oh, okay. On a train to Penzance, sitting backwards. A star within a star within a star, tapping a watermelon near the old castle. I'm painting circles inside you, and then we get the wet wipes. My heart is a bear and a handful of black hair. My heart is a collector of tiny dreams by penline. On a train to Darlington, sitting backwards. I grew up with bonfires, blue vans, and bombs. We moved to England. I lived in Coffee Hall. I'm a beautiful bastard. I'm learning to speak expansive American. Tuesday is 2 for 1. Beauty, energy, or emergency. Chasing skunk. I was so drunk. Yesterday and tomorrow. Please forgive me. I say I love you. Dog me. Down one foxhole and out the next. I'm tired of being wonderful. On a train from Dover, sitting forwards. From Northern Ireland, we landed in Vegas. I was an Irish ninja, aged 12 to 14. I walked around in small, pointy shoes and was invisible. I did flying sidekicks under basketball net. Kill your darlings, to have character and to lean in. Red berries and bird chirps. I need more bird chirps. There are not enough bird chirps in my life. Bird chirps sounds like bird chips, and I've eaten them. Seoul, South Korea, 2006, outside baseball stadium on small plastic plate. On a train to Brighton, sitting backwards. On the train from Brighton, sitting backwards, we sang real deep and bowed our heads. I'm licking the pages of a magazine. There are Spanish across from us, and one of them is talking about Natalie Portman's dress. And I am thinking of my mission. On a train from Brighton, sitting forwards. My mission was special. A Mormon bodybuilder invited me for dinner and fed me unsalted popcorn. The Mormon bodybuilder was 70 and ripped and drank from little holy cups full of water, which was his blood, and ate a wad of bread, which was his body. I had left for my special mission from Hurricane, Utah, after landing in Vegas, and went to Boise, Idaho for my special mission. But back in Milton Keynes, my parents had chickens, and the chickens changed into a horse, and my father changed his accent from Manchester to American Western when I left for my special mission. The crawdads came into the creek bed while I was on my special mission in Boise, Idaho. I touched my bum. I did cartwheels in the garden of my special mission. In my bedroom of my special mission. I found a curly red hair. I read Whitman, and we kissed in the toilets of my special mission. The voices of my ancestors, starring Tom Cruise, wondering about being and watching Far and Away, in which an Irish falls for a princess who was really the landlord's daughter, and he was the stereotypical boxer who reclaimed his land in America. This was his special mission. And Joey Shell-Shocked, who went crazy after his special mission, riding his bicycle everywhere in Portadown and being egged and collecting newspapers, trying to hold on to time and so on, felt the ghost in the backyard of my special mission. A voice said the others were coming, starring Nicole Kidman. The ghost having seen her heavenly descent in Hurricane, Utah, on the front line of my special mission. On a train from Norwich, sitting forwards. I was born on the real birthday of Jesus. I thought it might have been Jesus, or at least his best friend, but I wasn't. I read the missionary guide every morning at 5. My hair wouldn't part. I got a perm. This was 1995. What is the purpose of life? On a train to Kent, sitting backwards. Gerard, who was Navajo, introduced the movie about the Narrows at Zion National Park, and a British girl dressed in hippie clothing asked if he was real. She gave him a silk cut, and he smoked it between taking ticket stubs and scrubbing toilets. When Gerard invited me to a sweat lodge, it was hot. It got hotter. So I dug a hole in the teepee, and all the Indians laughed at me as I dug more and more to cool down in a hole. One day, I thought, I will get back the real me. And a train to Trow. Trow? Is that anyone been there? These are imaginary places. I haven't been to half of these places. Trow. Is it a good place to go, Trow?
Sit backwards.
Yeah, backwards. On a train to Trow, sitting backwards. Yeah. Burning out like an ant with a magnifying glass. I want your hoochie coochie. I love you, I love you, I love you. What's your name? Ashley, Naomi, Angie, Stacy. I love you, I love you, I love you. What's your name? Pink hot fluid. We're shaking in the light. We're getting bigger every day. We are going nowhere. Tony Toast called it word jelly. Zachary Schoenberg, scary, no scary. Here a duck, there a duck, everywhere a duck duck. Goodbye, Dennis. Hello, Elvis. Sugar cane, sugar cane. We are drunken butterflies in the rain. On a train from Durham, sitting forwards. This carriage smells of news. I was introduced to fridge magnets and American presidents in 1986. I lived in a trailer park in Vallejo and had a gumball machine. It gave me gumballs with a card. All the cards had American presidents. I was becoming an American citizen. I got free lunches. I got free breakfast. I never became an American citizen. E.T. was on the big screen. He had a glowing red finger. E.T. was in a shed. They were eating something called Pizza Hut. I got a fourth-hand BMX bike. I jumped the speed bumps. They wrote my name on the walls. They loved Duran Duran. I was not Duran Duran. I walked home. I had a funny accent. I have lived in many countries. I have many accents. They are layered in my skull. Welcome to my skull. It is your skull, too. On a train to Chester, sitting backwards. I know something is wrong when I start seeing everyone as a brain. It happens too often. What is in that brain? And that one? And that one? I just want to get back to my body. I close down and can't talk. It's my masculine training. I try porn and it works for a while. I get back to a body. But I have to write it in my planner, watch porn. I look at another person's penis, then I look at my own. I shave my pubic hair to feel better. I get a haircut for my head. I get new clothes. I buy some new technology. Connect to Tumblr and more Tumblr. Images and macros. I don't have any macros. I'm working on an image. I like the word kinky better than porn because it sounds like a fun knot. Porn reminds me of horns and of course horny, and we all know what is horns. Kinky has ink in it too, so I'm trying to write kinky. It isn't working. I'm writing in my planner to watch porn and research articles on fascism. I don't know which will come first. On a train to Weston Supermare, sitting backwards. Weston Supermare, yeah, we're talking about that. That's what, is it Weston? Yeah, Weston Supermare, anyone been there? Maybe I'll try some of these places. And a train to Weston Supermare, sitting backwards. The United Kingdom is wet red bricks, chewy sausage, high pregnancy, a skirt with strawberries on a rainy Tuesday, chips and crisps and more chips and crisps, a fake bakery called Greg's. A dog can be happy, feel sad, feel sexy. What does a depressed dolphin do to get happy? Prisoners tattoo a teardrop. I still don't understand why we cry. A dog digs a hole to give birth. We live in a tin can. In spring, the bees come. On a train from Western Supermare, sitting forwards. We are a strange accident. God, where did he go? Sometimes I say a little prayer to nobody. I'm looking for a lucky break. How to make sense of anything. Sometimes I imagine I am my brother. I hear his voice as my voice and see his face in the mirror. Put the dead inside you. All things pass, then come back changed. Is this a sad romance? A dog disappears and begins to wake up the flowers. Okay, so that's a little selection from that. Pretty short little poems. I think, yeah, the table with the books, if anyone's interested. The publisher isn't here, so I'm not sure what the price is. I think it's normally $8, but, oh, you are here. Okay, Lucy's here. Right, okay. There's Lucy. All right. So we'll have some books for sale. I don't remember the price. £7. So £7 back there on the table. So I thought I'd just read just a few new poems as well. Yeah, and this first poem is actually named after a collaboration I did with Pascal. We called it Patty's Cure. So I stole that title for a poem, actually. So this is Patty's Cure. I sit around cherry bone tree, rattling my bones, blowing my bone whistle, banging my bones on the bridge of humankind. Humankind, humankind is sublime, is sublime. Lime Rickeys are sublime. Bishop Fingers are sublime. Self-determination is sublime. Interdependence is sublime. I'm walking down Homerton High Street to the bookies, to the Chicken Palace. We throw away the bird bones. We are machines. We are not birds. My face is a map of the world. My face does not reflect my interior. The world does funny things to a face. This is backwards. This way. It's double-sided. Okay, new nature. I'm walking in the deer park. It is mating season. The bucks are wagging their tails and twitching. They won't stop twitching. They scrape their antlers on the trees and run 2 by 2 through the grasses. English people are watching. They're taking pictures and commenting in their stoic English voices. One doe walks daintily behind a tree, and the bucks keep twitching. "This is quite nice, isn't it?" they say. Yes, it is quite nice. I want to be a bird in the trees watching the deer. I don't want to be a human on a bench with other humans. I am a human animal. I am a human animal. I am a human animal. This is what I tell myself to feel better. I don't want to be all culture without nature. What is my better nature? My better nature is in question. Where do my thoughts go? They get tangled in my girl hair. They get tangled in English rain. I would, if I could, I would like to do anything to expand. This is called awe. This is called God with a little g. The big G has a big ego. My little ego is getting bigger than my big ego. And that means it is working. I can maybe go transhuman with the machines. The machines are full of grace, and they are the new nature. There is no machine. There is no nature. Big G and little g are both me. Hopscotch. Hopscotch. I'm playing hopscotch with dream dust. It is called poetry. Really? I mean, I'm hopping around and trying to say what can't be said, and well, this is about dreams. And what isn't? I mean, really, I'm mixing a tape. The tape goes forwards and backwards. It makes a scratching sound. I bounce around. Every atom and subatom and sub-subatom is bouncing around. Being static is only an illusion. My stepfather is reaching out. He took me on a fish trip on a pontoon boat, and I'm fishing without ever knowing the rules. My rocket is washed and ready to dress. I'm going to put rockets on my Polish bread, and I'm going to eat it. I'm eating and being eaten. It is called time. And time does not move forwards or backwards. It hops around. Does anyone like Swiss cheese? What's the other word for Swiss cheese? You know, the whole, do you say Swiss cheese? No. Is there another word for that besides Swiss cheese?
Emmental.
That's it. How do you say it?
Emmental.
Okay, yeah, that one. So this is about Swiss cheese, sort of. It's called Swiss. Get a tougher skin. It feels better. Pass all the people. Be a loner, but not that kind of loner. Be the right kind of loner. Eat cheap Swiss cheese after a hand job. The holes make them holy. I've never been fancy. Fancy was somewhere else. I fed myself on books. It is called survival. I found them on Saturdays in the Vegas library. The books were over my head. I just sat there, trying to absorb them. I absorbed the language, but not the meaning. I put the words in my mouth. In other words, I ate the words. Sometimes I shit them out. Sometimes they sat there. I was becoming more earthy. I'm all for earthy. That's where I live, Earth. I took courses in poetry to become a poet, but I was never a poet. I was supposed to mix cement, flip burgers, maybe become a traveling salesman. I was a salesman for many years. I didn't travel. I sold burpee seeds and accidental death on the phones. I watched the dream of the big time come and go on my parents' faces. They wanted the big time. We sold Amway. We sold water conditioners. I sold satellites. I am a satellite. I don't know what I orbit. I'm somewhere between continents, planets, genders, humans, animals, pigs, perks, ticks, grinders. I can't pronounce fancy French words, and maybe that's okay. The French are okay. The Swiss are okay. It's a different poem, that's right. But the people... It's backwards. Swiss are 6? Okay, all right. I can't pronounce fancy French words, and maybe that's okay. The French are okay. The Swiss are okay. But the people that speak literary bore me. Sophistication is so conformist. Mostly my face is the bottom of a saucer, but inside I'm full of holes. I was born rough and lived rough for big chunks of my life. I don't want to name drop Bukowski, but I like his honesty. I'm sitting here, not literary, on a typical overcast day in Poplar, East London, in my Bangladeshi housing estate, with the towers of wealth and power in the distance, and the flowers of dirt and poverty on my polluted balcony. My life is full of holes, and sometimes it is tasty. Does that go with Swiss cheese? Yes. All right. Wow. Squirrels on the Mayflower is the last one. One second. Okay. Squirrels on the Mayflower. My coffee smells like my underarms. It's easy to get stuck in this town. Squirrels came to America on the Mayflower. Today they are outside my window on concrete football pitch next to the peddlers and pushers of Poplar. The word ghetto meant foundry. My head is sometimes a factory. I don't know what it is assembling. The docklands are full of broken old pipes. You can mudlark them on the shores. I gather my nuts. I gather my water. This city is layered. There is a noose out the back at the prospect of Whitby. I came to America from the clutches of Thatcher and live in the clutches of Cameron. Where is my self-determination? I circle the trees. I circle the wagon. Look down. Look down. The way down from the gallows is to swing. Okay, that's it. Thanks.